Hi guys, welcome to Project Sweet, Loud, Untamed Tarts, or as we know it, Project
Slut. 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 I'm a slut.
Project Slut, the show that educates and entertains all things sex in an inclusive and positive way. Let's put power back into being a slut and fight back slut shaming with your host, Lavi.
Here at Project Slut, we're all about inclusivity, so you'll be treated to a testosterone-fueled episode. You'll hear from some of my favourite man whores, his failed erection stories, plus a special interview with TikToker, Twitch streamer, and OnlyFans connoisseur, Tradie with a 3. Sit back, relax, and let it rain, men.
Okay, my name again.
Yeah,
my name's Kurt, and my handle on the internet is Tradie with a 3.
Mm-hmm.
You can Google it, and it will come up with all my socials.
You're Googleable.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I do content creation for video games, but also like the spicy stuff as well.
I love spicy stuff.
Yeah.
So you were telling me before that you went viral on TikTok, but you're also very popular in the Twitch streaming gaming community, as well as OnlyFans. So you're kind of like a man of many talents.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how that began?
Okay. So I was basically started off with Twitch. I mean anyone that's into video games, they would love to be able to do that as a career and stream it and just have a community that would support you, and you can sort of live off that. However, it's not easy. It's a very competitive field, and I did end up getting a lot of attention from men who like other men, and they would ask me for certain photos, and to help support my sort of dream, I would send them what they were after.
Yeah. So you were hustling to kind of get what you needed to get. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. And then eventually one day, one of them suggested the idea of OnlyFans, and I took it up, and it wasn't really that successful. It just had like a few people who knew who I were. So basically I just needed to sort of advertise it. I don't know, I kind of got lucky in TikTok, where just, I guess I must have used the right sound, the right trending sort of, video, and then that blew up my OnlyFans.
What was the what was the video that kind of made your OnlyFans blow up? Can you describe it to us? I mean, we might post it on the socials, but I do want to know what it is.
I can try. It was like a little skit where someone wanted to borrow my computer to just use it for their own personal use, and then basically I don't know, but you don't want people to type P when they they go into the web browser, because it will come up with like porn websites.
Oh yeah. And
so it was cutting back and forth, taking a shot at them putting their hand over the keyboard, and then coming back to me saying like, "Oh, don't press the letter P." And then so basically they pressed the letter O, and it came up with my OnlyFans. Oh. Yeah. So
that is really creative. I like that.
Yeah, and it actually worked out pretty well. It blew up quite a bit. I can't remember exactly how much. And then I turned around from having like 30 fans to having about like 550. Whoa. So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Do you know where most of your subscribers were coming from?
I would say probably TikTok, but I think also there's like a bit of a community on like Reddit and sort of special forums where they sort of share their, reviews on men's OnlyFans.
So you're like Reddit popular as well. I feel so like flustered to be in front of someone so like, well known on the internet. Who really would have thought, right? You just come for Sunday just to have some salad and some chicken and just meet someone really cool. So are you kind of active on your OnlyFans as much as you were back then?
I wouldn't say so. I'm definitely very slack in that area. I think it's surprisingly, I don't know what it is. You wouldn't think it's that hard to just post videos of you looking after yourself, but it actually it is, because you
when you say looking after yourself, can you just tell us exactly what you mean?
Exactly what I mean. So there's days when I think other men can relate to, as you wake up and you're pretty horny, so you just sort of get one out, and I decided to record it. So every time I was horny and wanted to look after myself, I'd record it. But I think the best shots I would make would be in the shower, where I could like bring in like soap and other angles and stuff. So try and make it a little bit more enjoyable for my viewers. But I don't know, I think there's a lot of pressure that you don't even realize when you make that type of content.
What kind of pressure is it are you talking about?
I think, I don't know, I think like you get a bit self-conscious, like you think, like I'm not the biggest guy. I'm happy with who I am and what I look like, but I feel like where I charge, you know, for people to subscribe to me, I feel like people could probably find better elsewhere. But however, that's always this sort of like, you know, the anxieties in your head that sort of get to you. So
I mean, you're a tatted guy, you've got blue eyes. Like, I feel like you're definitely a lot of people's type. I feel like, you know, some people do want that, you know, big, hulky, steroid looking dude.
Yep.
You know, some guys really want twinks, you know, they really like the skinny kind of very femboys. And I mean, I feel like you cater to that kind of like kind of rustic, kind of very manly kind of guy.
True.
I'd say the tattoos help. Look very Australian.
Yeah,
so maybe that's like a fetish for someone.
Yeah, well, usually the more I talk in videos, the more popular they are. Because
you have a very nice voice, I must say.
Okay,
you might have to feature on this again.
I'll try my best. Yeah, so talking, and I mean, I don't know what it is about the society, but they like a lot of men, and I don't know if there's women that are in my OnlyFans, they like being degraded a bit, so they like being called certain things. So, you know,
Can you give us an example of what you might have called someone before?
Oh, like a cum slut, or
wow,
yeah, that sort of stuff. You know. So.
How do you find calling people over the internet that you don't know things like this?
Well, I just have to imagine it's someone that I do want to be calling that, and yeah, I just bring it more into my imagination. That helps me get through these things.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled with parts of OnlyFans where you have to kind of pretend to be somewhat nice and engaged with your subscribers, because you can't be dicks to them. Like, they're the ones giving you the money. Did you ever struggle with anything like that?
I'm a bit of a dick. I don't really associate with them. Like, for me, I'm 100% straight. I've got nothing against, like, you know, the gay men or all that sort of type of stuff, but I just feel like I'd sell them a false, I don't know the word, like a false reality if I started talking to them and catering to the imaginations they want, where that's never going to happen. So I just keep my distance, and just, you know, you subscribe and you get to see what I produce. So
yeah, so you mentioned you don't want to subscribe to their kind of imagination.
Yeah. And
you did say before that you have a lot of male audience subscribers.
Yeah. And
you yourself are not associated with the LGBT community.
Not exactly.
No, like you're an ally. You're not part of that community.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard at all to kind of, you know, we talked about it before, like, do you find it hard to kind of cater to that community when you're not part of that? Like, does that part of you kind of be like, want to reserve yourself?
It's not that difficult. I think sometimes men can be a little bit pushy. I mean, that's just normal.
Standard.
Yeah, it's a standard. I mean, it's not normal. It shouldn't be normal, but yeah, it's a standard. So like, they do really ask for much, but also I don't really give out too much, because it's just sort of a weird area where I have moments where I'm like, hell yeah, let's make heaps of content. And then there's times where I'm just like, oh, I can't really be bothered today or tomorrow or the next day. So I think I do okay, and I don't feel too pressured. And generally, if they're a bit too pushy, a bit too uncomfortable, I just ignore them, or even go like just block them. So
oh wow, so you actually have blocked people from just being like too much, you just don't want to deal with it?
Yeah, because I feel like they need to, you know, sort of check themselves, like, you know, realize you can't just be like that around people. Like, you can't try and force an idea, you know, like if I'm straight, then I'm straight, you know. It's never gonna be like one special night I might just hit them up and be like, all right.
I feel like, you know, doesn't matter what your sexuality is, a no is a no.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes people who are subscribers to things like OnlyFans, because of the kind of platform they are, they feel like they have some sort of privilege over you to be like, no, I can do that. But it's like, no, you still need some sort of consent. You know, you are still a human being and you still have your rights.
Well, it's pretty, like, unfortunately, it's pretty common when it comes to even Twitch. Like, you have a lot of women who stream, and then they have like big supporters who give, I don't know, so much money and so many gifted subscribers to her community and to her, and then they expect something in return. But it's like, I don't know what's going through their head to make them sort of think that's an okay sort of way to go about things. Like, just because you're giving out so much, you can't expect anything in return. So
you're not owed. You don't owe them anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, they're giving this to you for something. It doesn't mean you have to give them something back.
Exactly.
Let's take a short break. It's story time.
Your weekend. It's the middle of the weekend, but how has it been so far?
My weekend was great. I went to a hedonism party.
Love a good hedo party.
Yes. This time the theme was neon sweats. it was my 4th hedonism event.
Yeah.
And I love going to Hedo. It's one of my only vices.
How many Hedos have you been to?
4.
And I'm assuming if you've been to 4, that means you quite enjoy them.
Definitely. These are the most sought after parties that I look forward to. The only parties I actually look forward to.
And for people who have never really heard of hedonism, we'd say they're adult parties.
Yes, so there are adult parties. They're equal part play, equal part party.
And when you go to these events, do you party? Do you play?
Okay, so for the past 4 events, I've been partying more than I've been playing.
Why is that? We're not here about the good stuff. We're here for the bad stuff.
Okay, so for the people who don't know, hedonism is equal part party, equal part play. So unfortunately for myself, I quite like dabbling into MDMA when I'm at these events. It's my choice of drug.
But we don't endorse drugs on this podcast.
Certainly do not.
What's the problem?
So the problem with MDMA is it makes you feel amazing, right? It makes you feel like on top of the world. However, I suffer from vasoconstriction.
What's vasoconstriction?
Vasoconstriction is when your blood vessels contract and you're unable to get blood flowing through your vessels. You struggle to maintain a boner.
Oh no.
Yes.
That sounds quite sad.
It's a nightmare.
So essentially, I'm guessing you wanted to play at these events and these vasoconstrictions not allowing your boner to...
Yes, it's an absolute nightmare. I've spoken to a lot of people about it before. Some people struggle, just as I do. Some people don't.
It's like whiskey dick, but with MDMA.
Yes.
So when you have had these vasoconstrictions, have you taken anything else to kind of help you kind of counteract the MD?
Yes, I have tried to counteract the effects of vasoconstriction by taking Viagra and Cialis prior to dropping.
What's Cialis? Because I've heard of Viagra before, but I've never actually heard of Cialis.
To be honest with you, I actually don't know what Cialis is myself. However, it is like a Viagra, but it lasts a lot longer. It's supposed to be a little bit more healthier than Viagra because Viagra can cause heart attacks.
Yes, but you just said you took MD, Viagra and Cialis at the same time.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter about your health then, does it?
I really am running the gauntlet here.
All for a boner?
Yes, and even then I still couldn't get it up at Hedo.
How much of all these medications were in your system?
So I took a 150 milligram Viagra pill during the afternoon just to test it out. And went for a test drive, worked amazingly. Then I took another 100 milligrams of a 200 milligram Viagra pill, which I chopped in half.
So what's this at this point?
So it's at 250 milligrams.
Yep, 250 milligrams.
For the people who don't know, I just found out last night through a really close friend of mine, your normal Viagra pill is meant to be 50 milligrams.
Holy shit.
Yes.
So you took 3 times the amount?
But 5 times.
5 times the amount.
Yeah.
Math is not my area of expertise, as you can tell.
Yeah, so 250 milligrams of Viagra plus a Kamagra jelly.
What's Kamagra?
So Kamagra is meant to be a liquid jelly form, which makes you last longer.
So you were on a cocktail of all sort of boner medication?
Yes.
And it did nothing?
Struggle to maintain an erection.
So you can't get hard?
Yes. I've never had issues before. But just on MDMA, it's just a struggle. Really frustrating. But I'm glad my partner, she was very patient with me and she understood what I was going through.
So essentially, they didn't really work for you.
Again, I wouldn't say that because once I got home, they all kicked in and I just couldn't sleep. I had the strongest boner I've had in a very long time.
I know that like Viagra is usually used for... from what I know, it's an older person drug. An old man can't get his dick up, take some Viagra. I have noticed at these events, a lot of younger people are taking Viagra and Cialis and Kamagra. How have you found taking Viagra as a young person?
I've quite enjoyed it, to be honest. It makes my dick really hard. It makes me feel 16 again. It gives you really rock hard boners for a very long time, which I quite enjoy. Kamagra makes you last longer. So that means that you can go on for hours, literally hours, until the sunlight comes up. And time goes by pretty quickly.
What's your plan? So you have a plan of attack for next event?
Yes. So for the next event, I will not be visiting my girlfriend Molly, which is MDMA.
Yes, we all know what Molly is.
Yeah. So I'll be sticking to maybe something else, your normal alcohol. Definitely taking a lot of Viagra. Well, a healthy dose of Viagra this time.
What's a healthy dose?
Probably about 50 milligrams. I mean, that's your
So not
average
5
dose.
times the amount?
Yeah, not 5 times the amount. Definitely not.
I was going to try and avoid anything that will potentially harm your precious penis.
Yes. My precious penis would love to play at Hito next time, for sure.
Well, it's been nice having you back on again.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wish you and your boner very well for next time.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's get back to you, tradie with a 3. You did mention Twitch before.
Yep.
And you Twitch yourself.
Yep.
So what do you play on Twitch?
I play whatever's trending, like a variety of games.
So you're a sheep?
Yeah, you can call me a sheep. You know, you got to cater to the public and the viewers and make sure they're enjoying the content. But you also got to like sort of find a balance where you enjoy the game too, because I don't know, people. I mean, it's pretty standard. People don't like to watch you if you're very miserable and sad, and that's where my content sort of died off.
Because you were miserable and sad.
I was very sad. Like games are really boring at the moment, but there's been a few new games that have come out. Like I think it's called V Rising or something. It's like some sort of survival game, sort of fun. And then all the old games that I kind of got big on, like Among Us, and I played quite a bit of Fortnite and even Valorant and some other games like Rust and stuff. They're just, I think the whole Twitch, like that there's so many people can watch, and it's like you got to really stand out to make people watch you. So
obviously, I don't know if you could tell that I'm not a gamer. Yep. I only know such because I've dated gamers.
Okay, yeah.
It's not the fun. It's not the best. It's
Yeah,
not the best hobby.
Not the best?
Not the... No.
They're so chilled.
Trust me, the gamers I've dated are not chill. You know, you get the screaming at like 3 a.m. It's just like, calm down, it's a computer,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But anyways, you said, you know, got to keep your content interesting. When you did stream on Twitch, were you naked?
No, because
Damn it.
that would get me banned.
Does that, even if you're a guy? Because I know that happens with women.
Oh, well, I can take my shirt off, but I can't be naked.
Oh, well, okay, so were you ever topless in your Twitch?
Sometimes.
There we go.
Well, you know, look, like sometimes I'd just finish work and I'd get home and have to, like, I don't know, I didn't want to be wearing a yellow fluoro shirt, you know, so just take it off.
Because you're a tradie?
Yes, because I'm a tradie, yeah. And that's my handle on Twitch as well. So
it's handle and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yep, tradie with a 3.
With a 3.
Yep.
And like, so throughout the rest of the world, like not many people know what that means. I think probably in England they do, but like in America they'll be like, what does that even mean? They wouldn't even be able to pronounce it. They call me like Trad. That's usually my name, like Trad, and I'll be like, it's tradie.
Oh, that's right. They don't know what a tradie is because we call it's tradesperson.
Yeah, and
tradie.
they call them contractors or builders or something. So
when you said before you've done this full time gaming, and I'm assuming like OnlyFans, like all of that kind of meshed into one.
Whatever worked.
What was the kind of benefits and disadvantages of doing this as like a profession?
Obviously the benefits come with like your own boss, and you work your own hours, and you can wake up late, you can do whatever. Also, just depends on your lifestyle. Like for me, the benefits were definitely like my own sleeping patterns, my own lifestyle, and whatever. Like I could, if I wanted free time, I could just get it whenever I wanted. But I think the cons that come with it is that you have to constantly observe and like be aware of the trending sort of things that are happening and keep up with that. Otherwise, your channel will die off. And also, as much as people want you to be open and honest on the internet, they don't. Because,
they don't really.
Yeah, they don't really. They want you to be some sort of robot and be happy and great and having a great stream every time you go live, even though you're like, I don't know, unstable in all sorts of areas.
Being your authentic self is like a bullshit scam.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. They don't really want you to be authentic self.
So, yeah, and even though they say it like, oh, we love coming here because you're always yourself. You wear your heart on your sleeve and stuff. I'm like, oh, thank you. And then they disappeared. I'm like, yep, I know it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Bye.
Exactly that.
Do you see yourself ever going back to doing any of these sort of online jobs full time anytime soon?
I would love to. It's just I got to actually build a game plan where it will work out, because it worked for a little while. It was pretty successful, and then it's so strange. It's like I wish I could get in the minds of the people who watch me and then realize why they just stopped. Like I mean, it could you could probably figure it out if you really look into it. Like the games aren't that entertaining anymore, or I'm not that entertaining anymore. But it's like if I try to do it again, I need to save money and, you know, be prepared to take time and maybe even practice a lot in a certain game so I can excel in a game, because I was never like a pro gamer. I was just like a content creator, like an entertainer.
Were you one of those ones who was always like raging at the games, or were you funny, or what were you kind of doing?
A bit of both. I definitely rage. I think if you're
love a good rager.
Yeah, well, like if you're passionate in something, you know, you're always gonna be emotional. It's actually pretty funny. Like you get people that turn around and like sort of question you, like, well, why are you so angry? I was like, well, you know, obviously I'm emotional and passionate about the game I'm playing. It's like anything in general. Like,
yeah.
Like, how do you expect people to just turn off their emotions in certain situations? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, for any males that are potentially thinking about going into OnlyFans, because I mean, for me, it's definitely a female-oriented industry. I mean, it's a very different experience for women. They have a lot of different subscribers. What would you kind of say their advice be to them?
Okay, my advice would be, a lot of time men put way too much pressure on themselves and their body, and they think they need to look like, I don't know, statue crafted by God or some sort of nonsense. But there really is a market for everything. Like, you will find people that find you attractive. It's just like life, you know. Everyone's always comparing themselves to each other, but if you are capable of giving it a crack, and if you feel like you're the type of outgoing person that can do sort of interesting and weird stuff, you'll find that you probably get way more attention than the pretty guy you see always getting attention from women, because he might do OnlyFans but do pretty casual stuff, where you're open to the idea of doing really random weird stuff. So
that you basically, you know, everyone's got a taste.
Everyone's got a taste, and it's just if you think you can do it, then you may as well give it a crack, because you've got nothing to lose. You know, it's a very competitive field, and it's very like high school. Like, you got to be careful about the people you network with, because you make friends with people, and 9 times out of 10 they're not your friend. They're just sort of using you for their benefit and the content that they're making. So you have to network, though. Also, sometimes there'll be moments where you'll really pop off and blow up, but you have to kind of not let that get to your head, because as quickly as it goes upwards, it can go down like just as quickly. So
yeah, ego is a very tedious, complicated thing. You should not let it get to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've really enjoyed chatting to you and getting to know about you, because I actually was not expecting this at all.
Yeah.
Like, we can both vouch for this, how spontaneous this was. I think I'm not, you know what, just for the professionalism of this, I'm not going to say how spontaneous this was.
Okay, yeah, good
I don't
idea.
just always carry my podcast equipment with me.
Yep,
but I'm really glad you had a chat with us, and I'm really hoping that maybe one day, if you do get back on the, you know, TikTok, Twitch, OnlyFans stream, you know, you'll maybe do a little video for us.
Yeah, of course.
Project Slut would love to have you on.
Yeah.
Love a good gamer.
I'll definitely come back on another time as well.
Yeah, well, we can see your face and you'll be less nervous.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous about it.
That's all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed tuning into Project Slut. Stay safe, stay whorish, and we'll see you soon.